Slow ahead. I can go slow ahead. Come on down and chum some of this.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
When you think of shark movies, Jaws is always one that people will bring up. It's not because of the action, though. It's one of the rare horror films where you don't really see much of the monster, but rather, you get to build up the suspense and develop these great characters. As a lot of people know, the shark animatronic famously broke down multiple times during the production, so Spielberg had to get creative, and I think because of it, it made the movie as iconic as it is. Jaws was the feature debut for director Steven Spielberg and stars Roy Schneider, Robert Shaw, and Richard Dreyfuss. After a young woman is killed by a shark, Chief of Police Martin Brody enlists the help of a marine biologist, Matt Hooper, and a local fisherman who has experience catching sharks, Captain Quint. All the while, the mayor is trying to keep the beaches open and maintain the financial stability of Amity Island.
You yell barracuda. Everybody says, huh? What? You yell shark. We've got a panic on our hands on the 4th of July.
Our trio, led by Roy Schneider, Robert Shaw, and Richard Dreyfuss, have great chemistry with each other, and their individual performances make for a likable cast. Schneider is a great everyman who just wants to do what's right. Dreyfuss has a great comedic timing, and has some of the funniest moments in the entire movie. And of course, Robert Shaw gives an iconic performance as a grizzled captain who has dealt with sharks before. He's obsessed and driven, but also weary, and his monologue about his time in the military on the USS Indianapolis is one of my favorite parts of the entire film.
You know the thing about a shark, he's got lifeless eyes, black eyes, like a doll's eyes. When he comes at you, he doesn't seem to be living until he bites you, and those black eyes roll over white, and then... oh, then you hear that terrible high-pitched screaming. The ocean turns red, and in spite of all the pounding and the hollering, they all come in and they rip you to pieces.
And we can't talk about Jaws without mentioning the iconic theme from John Williams. You just hear those couple notes, and you know what's about to happen, and that's what's just so great about it. As previously mentioned, Spielberg had to get creative with the shark sequences, obviously with it being broken down. So a lot of those memorable shots that you've seen, like where the camera is underneath the water and it's kind of the shark's POV, that's done because all of the kind of secret blessing in disguise that was the shark breaking down. The film is consistently filled with tension and build-up that keeps you on the edge of your seat. And even though you aren't seeing the shark, you can still feel the presence of it with, of course, the iconic score and just a really great sense of direction from Spielberg. The cinematography is also really good here, and especially when they use the sun as like a backdrop. Sometimes you get to see, there's a moment particularly where you have Quint's character who's standing on the edge of the boat and he's just sitting there and you can see the sun going down and it just looks absolutely gorgeous. There isn't really a lot of negatives to discuss with Jaws, and there's only a few things I can really say that I don't love about the movie as a whole. Sometimes the pacing can be a little slow, particularly in the second act, where there isn't much going on. It's not bad at all, but it is just a little bit tedious after a little while. And while the practical effects for the most part look good, there are a few times when you can really notice the shark being an animatronic, especially when it's outside of the water, and you can kind of see like how it's trying to work and move around. But for the most part, it still holds up fairly well. There's only a couple of shots here and there that don't exactly hold up compared to the rest of the film. While Jaws isn't my personal favorite Spielberg film, I still think it's a great film nonetheless, and it's thanks to its incredible 3 lead performances, its iconic score, and its great use of tension and suspense. My rating for Jaws is an A.